Yeah.
We are live.
Yeah, man.
Back at it.
Happy Monday.
Yes, sir.
Love is love. How's everybody doing? Shout out to everybody in Oklahoma City. Prayers up to Tyrese Halliburton. You hate to see that happen. Achilles is not anything to be played with, so speedy recovery to him and everybody around him.
Why are there so many Achilles injuries?
That's something that they're looking into, man.
Cameron was talking about that. He said low top.
Stop wearing low top. JJ Redick had an interesting take a couple of years ago about the wear and tear of today's athlete. And I think this year they had 8 Achilles tears this season. The Pacers had 3 players that tore their Achilles. Obviously, we saw Jason Tatum in the playoffs. Damian Lillard tore his, and Tyrese last night. So
that's horrible.
It's tough, man. It's tough to watch. And then everybody remembers, Kevin Durant in the finals when he was on Golden State, the calf strain, and he tore it. Kobe tore his.
Kobe started the low top, but when I was playing, boy, you wouldn't think about wearing.
Never in life.
That was
you think it's attributed to the shoe?
I mean, it's a small factor.
I mean, everything plays a part, right?
Think about, like I said, I mean, we've never thought of. I mean, I would think more for sprained ankles. That's why I was always scared to wear low tops, because I'm like, I roll my ankle like too much to be wearing low tops. So but that wasn't even a thought. That wasn't even a thought. It was only high top. Then they came out with mids, and that became a thing. And then Kobe started wearing low top sneakers, and I don't know.
That's the same. I mean, Aaron Rodgers tore his as well, right? And that was just
that's the activity.
They
42.
They thought maybe the way that the turf doesn't give, that might be a factor, but it's definitely something that. And then we lost the dude who created sports science. That would have been a perfect timing to try to understand what's happening. Rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace to him.
Congrats to them though, and shout out to the city of Houston, Ian. However you look at it,
Rockets called me.
Season tickets.
Like, Dad, can we get tickets? I'm like, I already.
Season tickets will be on sale shortly, I'm sure.
Yes.
Shout out to Katie. All right, man. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. Of course, we're going to talk about the latest happenings over the weekend with Iran and how that can potentially impact the market going forward, price of oil, different things of that nature. But before we start, big week for EYO. This Wednesday blackout, we got 2 special guests at the same time. We got my boy Punch. We got my boy Ray Daniels coming on.
Both of my guys, yep. Controversial comments.
And we're gonna have a hip-hop conversation.
Punch on fire right now.
It's a lot going on right now. First and foremost, salute to my brother Jim Jones.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
But we're gonna talk about it.
Jomo.
Salute to our brother Nas.
We're gonna talk about it. It's getting out of hand.
Yeah,
it's getting out of hand.
Great rollout though.
Yeah,
it's getting out of hand.
I saw Shannon was talking to him. That was a little. That was pretty aggressive, huh?
Shay 6'8", like 6'6".
He said the workout challenge
50, like it's one of these things. Like you see Shay. We had Shay at InvestFest last year. Like he looked like he could play right now. He could get drafted. He could sign up. He could at least the Jets. He could make the Jets roster
for sure.
Nah, he can't play right now.
He could at least make the Jets.
Saw him in the ring with
Patriots. At least somebody.
He's tied in 2 minutes.
The Browns. One of these teams. One of these teams. Special packages. He could
pause.
Special packages. That's actually a term in football. That's a term in football. You don't know that?
It's not called
special.
What's it called?
Special teams package.
They already have special
teams.
No, special teams is a whole different thing. That's a whole different part of
I know.
What are you talking about? So when they bring a quarterback in for one play, that has nothing to do with special teams. That's a special package that they're running. It is a special package. It's nothing to do with special teams. Special teams is kickoff, kick return, and punting and field goals.
A PTO. We don't know.
Special package is part of a football.
For a freak off.
That's part. A special package is part of a football term. It has nothing to do with special teams. They're 2 different things. Okay, but check it out. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then Thursday at 6 o'clock we got a legend on Earn Your Leisure. Kurt Franklin.
Praise him.
What?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Shout out to Kurt Franklin and his business partner.
That's incredible.
Shout out to Norm.
Salute to Norm. So they got
on the run too.
Yeah, so
they're on the cusp of something very special in terms of business. A lot of times, and even I felt like it was an educational experience for us that during that interview of just learning, because when we think music business, we kind of leave gospel out of it. and you don't think about it in terms of how they structure business deals or how they're being taken advantage of or how they're being characterized. But they are onto something very revolutionary. So it's one of them ones
to be in. They've carved out an amazing niche. So please tune in to watch that.
Sure.
Signia Assets.
So 6 o'clock, and then the last thing I'll say, we'll talk about investments a little later, but I got to give a big shout out to Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
$300 million contract a few years ago. Revolutionary independent shoe deal, turned down Nike.
Yep.
Got snubbed from the Olympic team, NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP.
Icon.
Atlanta legend will be in the building. He will be at InvestFest for the pitch competition. He's added to the pitch competition.
That's incredible.
Guys, you need to sign up for this pitch competition. We got 2 Chainz. We got Jaylen Brown. We got Paul Judge.
I'm at the show with a suitcase of money.
It's gonna be a lot of.
I was just telling him I just got a phone call from an exec at a major company that was like, "Yo, what's up with this pitch competition? How can I bring capital to it? Right? Are there any ways I can infuse capital into this? Because the grand prize winner gets the money, but like there's plenty of other businesses like I saw last year. He said I was just so inspired by seeing all those people in the hallway with their dreams on the line and willing to go for it. I want to bring a check. So make sure y'all show up, make sure y'all enter, but be on the lookout because people are watching you at every step of this process.
So all you gotta do is have an InvestFest ticket and then just go and sign it. You got till June 30th. Go to the website, click the link and apply. Any tech company, any company that has tech inside of it, any stage, it could be from startup, just the idea. That's what Paul said. You could have just the idea. I highly suggest every entrepreneur. It's 125,000. And like he said, there's opportunities that other people might get money as well. There might be more than just one winner, or there might be potentially more money than that. Because like I said, Jaylen Brown obviously has a lot of money. Obviously. 2 Chainz has a lot of money. So like Ian Dunlap has a lot of money.
And don't forget Paul. Paul said, there's $125,000 check, but that don't mean that we don't bring a couple of those $125,000.
No, I'm saying, but they might want to put more money in.
True.
So I mean,
I will be in the building. AB, give me my pass.
So you never know. And the last thing, No Magic. Shout out to No Magic with a K at the end. This is the InvestFest hat. They just sent me the sample. They made the merch for Dipset. Actually, they made the Diplomat hat. So shout out to him. Stay tuned. Exclusive merch drop. But shout out to them. They reached out in DM, said they would like to collab. And I said, yo, send
you in good spirit of energy. I love it, brother.
No, you gotta be thankful at all times, man.
Absolutely.
But Ian, any announcements?
Nope, mid-roll. Let's have an amazing show. Love y'all.
Troy.
Yeah, man. First and foremost, I want to wish my daughter a happy birthday this week. Friday will be her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Daddy loves you, 14.
Happy birthday.
That was quick. And shout out to everybody that's celebrating their birthday
14?
this week. Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Time is flying.
Yeah, really quick. Y'all know how this works, man. Y'all do your own research, but continue to share the research, right? Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Continue to do research, share the research when it's great. Give credit to the people you found it from. Let's share the knowledge. Let's share the wealth. Let's build community. Big shout out. We got to give a shout out to everybody that was participating in EYLU this weekend. There was a couple of Juneteenth things happening. So shout out to the South Florida Regional Group. They had a Juneteenth celebration. New York City, we got something to announce today. They had a deep dive into crypto with Austin. Shout out to Austin.
It's fire.
If you've been in the chat, you've been seeing what he's been posting, and we'll get into some of the bills that were passed last week that are going to change the way crypto looks. DMV, Houston, the Carolinas, Chicago, Detroit, Ohio held their first meetup. So shout out to everybody in EYLU. Let's build community. This is what it talks about. And all roads lead to Atlanta, Georgia, August 22nd through the 25th. InvestFest weekend. So make sure you pull up.
Okay, so let's talk about Iran. Obviously, if you're not under a rock, you know that military action was taken from the United States over the weekend. They bombed 3 sites, and Trump put it on Truth Social. And it was crazy because Van Jones actually, I mean, not
Lathan.
Van Jones,
Van Lathan.
Van Lathan.
Yeah.
Van Lathan
called it.
Was on a Blackout last
He
Wednesday.
predicted
That's why you should always watch Blackout. And he actually predicted it perfectly. He said either Friday or Saturday. It happened on Saturday. He said that there was some military Iranian military bases that actually was enriching nuclear enhancements that couldn't be touched by Israel because they didn't have the technology to blow up the mountains. So he kind of laid it all out. The 30,000 pound bomb that needed to be dropped, and only America had that. So
the B2 flyers.
He said that was done. Okay, now this is interesting. We're going to talk about how this affected the stock market, because the stock market is actually not phased as of yet.
As predicted.
But there's a lot of different thoughts on this from a standpoint of Trump. You know, he announced 3 days prior to that we now totally have full control over the Iranian airspace. So and Iran came out with a statement saying that they moved all of the nuclear stuff out of the bases before it got hit. So now you got one. America's going with the narrative that they completely destroyed the Iranian's nuclear facilities and it's over. Iran is saying that they moved everything. Now, what's interesting is that he said that we have full control over the Iranian skies 3 days before they actually bombed it. Okay. Now, if you were a criminal, let's just say, right, and you were casing somebody's house and you was about to rob their house, would you put on Twitter that you have full control over their ring system?
Probably not.
Because if you did do that, like if you knew you're in danger, right, what do? You move your valuables out of your house, right? So some people there's some conspiracies that maybe this was a back channel diplomacy with Iran to kind of give them the heads up. So it's forward facing that, okay, we did this, Israel, you got what you want, but we're still in diplomatic talks with Iran, and this is kind of their way out. And some people just saying like, no, Trump is just wild. He just announced it because he's just impulsive, and then 3 days later just dropped the bomb. But it's interesting that he would say that, because I don't think that would make a lot of sense to declare something like that and then strike 3 days later, because it is essentially giving them the heads up that you're going to do something if you got full control of their skies. So before we go into the stock part of it, what do we make of this?
I think if I was trying to please my allies and then in turn not cause a World War III scenario, maybe I'll give you a little heads up to move some of the assets that you have, because we're not prepared to go to World War III. I don't think we have to be conspiratorial around this. I think we know if he wants to go into attack, he will fully. I think this is one of the cases where he had to do what he had to do to please Israel and at the same time show a strong front. But I don't think, given this term and all the turmoil that's happening in the country and everything that's happening with the BRICS, that he wants to have this war ignited with Iran. But what do you think? I just know if I was going to go bomb an enemy and I got the location, I wouldn't text their cousin 3 days before, hey, I'm on the way to 223 Main Street.
We got the drop on you.
Yeah. It's interesting. Even like post the actual bombs being dropped, it was all right. Now it's a time for peace. It's like, how do you decide that? Now you've bombed a site and they're like, we're not at war. We just want to get rid of the nuclear threat. And the fact that you're saying, all right, hey, let's talk about peace now, after you've now destroyed, obviously, or allegedly destroyed their technology.
Talk about peace.
Yeah, let's figure this. Let's talk about it now.
I mean, that's street rules, though. That's like you knock somebody out because you don't want to kill them, and then just say like, "Yo, I did that out of love." It could have been worse. I didn't want to shoot you. I didn't want to stab you. I'm gonna put you down. Hold your hands. I'm gonna hold your hands. I'm gonna strain you. and let's talk it out. Let's figure it out now.
There's Debo rules.
And so after Van said that on Blackout 2, I got 3 or 4 texts from some people in the military who may have alluded to this won't be our last time in Iran, and this wasn't the final strike. So, like, if Van knew last Wednesday,
right? All signs pointed to it that there is no turning back. From a retaliatory standpoint, now what? Right? Obviously, Iran has now continued to fire missiles at Israel. Now what? What do we walk ourselves into?
A sleeper cell attack, and this is why they have high alerts on New York City and major New York cities. But Chicago, I mean, this is technically how terrorism starts, right? Mm-hmm. So this actually comes from Art of War. If you read the book, guerrilla warfare is pretty much terrorism, right? When you're fighting an opponent that you can't actually beat with army, then you have to resort to other tactics. So you do things like blow up a train station, right? Like that's the alert. That's why so if you're wondering why, like, okay, New York City is at high alert right now, because they're saying, okay, even if it doesn't come directly from the government of Iran, it could be somebody that sympathizes with them, right? Like, but you can't, there's nothing that they can do to fight Israel or fight America, but they can do other things to kind of disrupt day-to-day life, which makes things uncomfortable for civilians, which push pressure on the government. Even like we'll talk about the seas, shutting down sea routes, hijacking ships. These are things that it's just like, it's annoyance. But you do enough of it that causes a major disruption, right? It's not like you're not going to be able to, have a full-fledged military attack, but you do pop-up type attacks. That's what that's what comes next potentially, because that's the only way to actually respond, or like hack, computer hacks and different things of that nature.
Those are the signs, and Netflix did a documentary on the history of Bin Laden and Taliban. Literally, like what you just laid out is exactly what happened until it was, obviously, we saw what happened in 9/11. It was attacks on embassies. It was attacks on the water, right? U.S. Naval ships being attacked, right? And until a major event happened. And you think about it from the standpoint of the U.S. government, how does that look internally, right? Because this is a different age when we couldn't see everything that was happening. Obviously, with social media, you talked about sympathizing and empathizing with people of Iran. A lot of people here are looking at like, why did this happen? What did we get ourselves into? The vice president was even on record saying, like, I didn't know this was about to happen, right? AOC is calling for impeachment. What do you think it stands from the internal view of what's happening in this, I guess, quote unquote, early conflict?
I mean, they knew. There's no way that JD Vance doesn't know what's going to happen.
Which brings me to my point. Where is the checks and balances on the defense tech regime? On June 13th, 4 senior executives from Palantir, Meta, OpenAI have been appointed as lieutenant colonels in the U.S. Army after the creation of a special unit. So if Peter Thiel backed JD Vance, owns Palantir, Zuckerberg breaks his war with Palmer at Anduril, now Meta's in the defense tech business, it seems like a lot of the tech bro billionaires have pushed him into wars. And even going back to the Saudi meeting, it was interesting seeing who was there and who was not there. Where is the checks and balances on who is advising him to go into these wars, and if there is being done solely for profit?
And talk about, okay, so Meta, you said Palantir, OpenAI, Palantir, and there's one more company, right? Is it, or just those 3?
It's one more. Let me find the last one. Let me see. I can't find the last one, but let's focus on those 3 right now.
All right. So Meta, Palantir, and OpenAI, companies that we've talked about a lot. So if you want to tie it in from an investing standpoint, OpenAI obviously isn't a public traded company
yet.
But if you look at Palantir, I mean, people have already said that Palantir stock is going to skyrocket based off of, not just this war, but a series of potential wars that could potentially happen in the future. Meta, somebody, Mark Zuckerberg, obviously, he's been so dedicated to the presidency that he actually was considering buying a home in DC, to move to DC.
Good investment.
To be closer to Trump and his administration. And then you look at their stock, and it's up, and it's has gone up, right? So yeah, is it a coincidence?
No. And I don't think most of Silicon Valley rushing into defense tech when that was looked at as an antiquated business perception-wise in Silicon Valley. I just think it's ironic to see the push into some of these wars, given the investment that they have into defense tech now. Meanwhile, Raytheon is not moving how it normally would, or Lockheed Martin isn't moving. We are having like a change of the guard amongst defense tech, but I wonder at what cost.
And even, Anduril, you talked about them before. 60 Minutes does an expose on the CEO, and it's like you said, they're pushing defense tech like it's electric cars.
Yes.
They got
the new hot sector.
They got the CEOs have become celebrities.
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about Anduril, whether you're talking about Palantir, the CEOs of defense tech companies have become celebrities. And before, this defense period was a underworld, like arms dealers. They made movies about arms dealers, like Nicolas Cage, stuff like that. Like you didn't even want to know. Those people didn't even want you to know who they were, and you didn't know who they were. Now it's like
the front
talk of the town, like, and it's like they acting like this is like the new toys that people are playing with, as far as drones that can destroy a whole entire city. That says a lot about the times that we're in, as far as investment opportunities, but it also says a lot about the times that we're in, as far as how war has become so mainstream that it has no problem being traded publicly and celebrated publicly as well.
I mean, tech has always been a thing. When people talk about growth and value, they found that in tech. And so if AI was a story and people have led the headlines with that, well, what's the next sector inside of AI? And I mean, we've seen what happens with Palantir. Ian, I'll add to what you said, because Raytheon traditionally is not a stock, but if you look at the history of the company over the past 3 years, RTX is a company that spawned from that. So if you look at RTX's chart in terms of what's happened with conflict, I mean, it's out of this world, right? And so you have to throw that inside there when you're talking about, I know Anduril was one of the companies you talked about, obviously not publicly traded yet, but it looks, all signs are pointing that that's where it's headed. And we've seen some of the successful IPOs that have happened this year. That market is starting to open up.
You're starting to heat up.
You're starting to heat up again. You've seen with Zuckerberg, you know where this is headed. I thought what Van said on Wednesday about Palantir was just like super powerful. Like, this is the most dangerous company in the world. And so now from an investing standpoint, especially from a retail standpoint, we always talk about morally investing. If you know these things, you know that, do you invest in something because you know there's growth, but you know that destruction can come from it? It's one of these dilemmas that we all have to face at some point, I feel like.
Yeah, and even some people have been like, well, why do you like Anduril but not Palantir? I just said I personally would not invest in Palantir. Like, as far as the Silicon Valley space, I think Peter Thiel, that book 0 to 1 changed my life. I just personally would not invest into it, but I like Anduril because of the war that he went through with Meta. It's a classic revenge story. For those of you who don't know, the Oculus design, which Apple then copied, came from Palmer, and they tried to bury him.
And the great thing about that is that allegedly what he says is that he got fired from Meta because he was supporting Donald Trump. That's interesting, because he's obviously a pro-Trump supporter. He was very vocal about his support for Trump years ago. And at that time, I guess it wasn't fashionable to support Donald Trump. So in Silicon Valley, he was fired. That's what he says. Meta said that he was fired for other reasons. But now Mark Zuckerberg is one of the biggest supporters of Donald Trump.
Allegedly. Financially, but not morally. I won't speak for Zuck, though. But
I mean, as far as forward facing, right? He donated $1 million to his
you got to kiss the ring and not get the contracts. That's the part of the game that we're in. Halfway through the decade, you gotta kiss the ring.
So
isn't doing it, and they're paying the cost.
What would be what's the war index? If we could, is so Anduril, public and non-public.
It's a great question.
Public and non-public.
Palantir, Anduril, OpenAI.
Which Microsoft, you got to say OpenAI is Microsoft.
Yeah, but they're starting to have their issues, and they're trying to break away. But throw Microsoft in there and Meta. Who would think that like your love for Instagram DMing would turn into a war product? That's why I keep data's the new oil.
And how did Meta get involved in the war industry?
Because they crossed Palmer and Anduril, and you see that he's about to become an icon. Much easier before you become publicly traded to say, "Hey, buddy, shouldn't have fired you. Let's be friends." And in the friendship and the reconciliation, okay, well, let's find a way to make some money together.
And they have the data.
That's what I'm saying. That's it.
And they control the algorithm.
Yeah.
Because
while Palantir is on fire, and their data is phenomenal, and their data sets and how they've stacked that AI, Meta may be the only place that you can go to get psychographic and demographic profiling the way that you can at Palantir.
Never forget that propaganda is just as important as military arsenal.
His first thing
in war. And study any general that was extremely successful, whether they were successful for good reasons or bad reasons. They used and they understood propaganda. They wasn't just military fighting, blowing up stuff. Every successful general or head of state that was a military man understood the need for propaganda.
Yeah,
we can't leave out Raytheon out of that index. That was a great question.
That's what I think RTX is adding it. It's up 25% this year. In these times of conflict, you'll see those things rise. I think you nailed it in terms of Meta. How did they become? They have 3.4 billion users across all platforms. That's nearly half the planet. So if you need the data for the world, it's at their disposal, right? And people, their audience is still, was it 100 million users a month? Like, you're still growing, and you still have
an average time of like 34 minutes a day.
That's why you need them.
Platforms. That's insane.
It's a lot. There's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button and share. High level conversation. Shout out to 19 Keys. He got a dope episode with
Tabitha Brown.
Yeah. They'll both be at Invest Fest. And speaking of Invest Fest, I know you guys are waiting to see the winner of the raffle. We added an extra week because we got a call from the bros in Ghana. They're gonna throw something in as well. So that free trip to Ghana is still running. We got another week added. So if you're interested, you got 7 more days. We'll announce it next Monday. We'll announce the winner. So anybody that buys a ticket for the next 7 days, you're entered to win. You get the MG the Mortgage Guys course. You get opportunity to get VIP tickets upgraded. So, but yeah, there'll be a lucky winner of that that will get all expense paid trip to Ghana. And the good thing about this is that when we announce these things, other people want to chime in.
Like I gotta get a list together. As soon as my ear get better, boy.
So you got 7 more days, ladies and gentlemen, to get your tickets to Invest Fest, to get to enter that raffle for that free trip to Ghana. And that's anybody that buys a general admission ticket. Okay, so switching topics.
Before we switch, what do you think is going to be the end resolution of this conflict with Iran?
Man, I mean, you saw Yemen saying that they have officially entered the war, and that they said don't put your ships in our water.
Mm-hmm.
You've been warned. So
that's a strong statement.
The waterways,
yeah.
You starting to hear the Strait of Hormuz come up in conversations. We got to close that down. Help us out.
It's a very interesting situation. I mean, I guess what Israel definitely would want, and now they're saying America, because at first America said that they wasn't going to push this line, but some of the stuff that Trump is saying recently is a regime change. And I think that's something that you really got to be careful with, because as I said on Blackout, this is how this whole situation started 40 years ago.
Yeah.
when they implemented the Shah of Iran, who was Western-backed leadership, and the country hated them, and they had a revolt, and then the Islamic regime that we have right now in Iran, the state, the cleric regime that runs the country, that was a result of. So you got to be careful when you just try to take out regimes, because it actually could be potentially worse for you. So I think that's what they want to happen.
Destabilization
and a total regime change that's way more moderate, that is friendly with United States, friendly with Europe, and friendly with Israel. That's what they want to happen. That's what you see happen. I mean, if you look at the countries in the Middle East that have good relationships with America, that's what they are. Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, right? Like, this is why even Syria, like the new regime in Syria, is a friendly regime to America. It's interesting. The president, he was on the ICE terrorist list 3 years ago.
That's fascinating.
Now he's speaking in front of the United Nations in September.
Will he be at InvestFest or no?
You never know. Potentially. Potentially.
Waiting for the coded email.
So where do I think this thing ends? I think that China will come into play.
Absolutely.
And I think, to a lesser degree, Russia. I think that they will be able to calm things down. I think Israel will continue to try to get a regime change, but I don't know if that's actually realistic. And I think that they will definitely delay the nuclear program and have, that kind of stomped out, at least for the next 4 years, as long as Trump is in office. And I don't think that there will be a full-fledged war, because I don't think that that's beneficial. I know Americans don't want that to happen. So I don't think that I think Trump's thing was like, okay, let's just bomb it. Let's show a good face to Israel. And then let's just say, okay, now we can just get on with our life. And, let's not take this too far.
That's been the messaging that's been going out for the past 2 days now. It's like, we're not at war with Iran. We're at war with their nuclear program. We're at war with their nuclear program.
Smart messaging.
Yeah, the messaging is continues to be that from the White House, and J.D. Vance said that as well today. It's not a war against Iran. And now that the nuclear program has been dismantled, pretty much we can get back to business. We can figure out how to create peace.
Or has it been dismantled?
According to them, there's been videos that's coming out of Iran that's like it has been dismantled. In fact, you've started a war and we're going to end the war. Like, that was literally the clips that have been going. I'm sure people have seen on social media. We'll see.
Thoughts and prayers, man. Crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay.
And the market opens positive.
They crazy. Front ran the investment and told you what was going to happen in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about the market, though. Regardless of war, feast, famine, regime changes, presidential changes, like, the market is literally rigged to stay up through engineering and how they align those indexes. So for everyone watching long term, I wouldn't change my portfolio structure. If you want to add Palantir, fine. If you're already in Meta, I would probably add more. I never thought I'd see the day when Meta would have a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army. Talk about a moat. It's a hell of a one to have too. So, but I wouldn't change my portfolio too much.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this because you didn't at these levels, right? Like, look at the levels that Palantir is at. If you're going to invest in it long term, but make sure you get it at a price.
Yeah, you got to wait for a pullback.
It's running at past all time. I feel like every week is a new all time high. Just be mindful of that, please.
Bitcoin maxis. Your leader will be at InvestFest. Jack Dorsey.
That's the second leader. Michael Saylor, the first one. That's the new Bitcoin Jesus. Michael Saylor, we need you. Please pull up.
Bitcoin Jesus as well.
Bitcoin Jesus.
I feel so bad for Kathy. ARK started to make a little run, but that's really, honestly, the Bitcoin exposure or institutional play was Jack's idea, though, in Square.
Yeah. Jack is the
originator.
Yes. Michael Saylor is the flashy, kind of renegade.
Yeah.
Jack is the more the institutional standard.
Absolutely.
Been that way.
Yeah.
But we'll ask him.
Shout out to Kathy Wood.
We'll ask him.
Former InvestFest.
For sure.
Attendee panelist.
Oh, XRP Army.
For sure. What XRP do to you?
One day.
Let's have a conversation now. Go ahead.
Well, the XRP enthusiasts, they're very passionate. And, they, for some reason, decided to just, go crazy on me a few months ago.
Because you antagonize them every month. That's why.
I'm just, XRP is under $2 right now. All I'm saying is that when, the court case is going, the CEO, Trump's in, bro, when are we going to have XRP reach $10,000?
Oh, that's never.
That's never.
But I can see 10.
10. I think it's 10
years. Yeah.
Even that is still far fetched at this point.
When is it going to happen? That's all I'm saying.
Well, the same way XRP got derailed is similar to how Jack Dorsey and Square got derailed. Hopefully he'll tell the story at InvestFest, but there was some collusion by some banks to thwart the greatness of Square.
And maybe some financial tech companies as well. Not just the banks.
Yep. So, but Rashad, I hear you. Can't everyone that love assets just all get along? I'm feeling more emotional because my ear is hurting, but here we are.
I'm seeing
Bitcoin, XRP, Vanguard. Can everybody just get along and love each other before we go to war? No? Okay.
Okay. XRP Army. All right. Okay. We'll revisit this conversation. Can we talk about credit cards? Can you give an update on what you think about the performance of all credit card companies?
Visa, American Express, I think they're all recalibrating to the levels they should be.
Yeah,
I have Visa coming down at 316.91.
Ooh,
I want to re-enter.
What's the catalyst that drives them
down? Sector rotation into Bitcoin. The other war that's being fought is traditional, and Visa does have exposure to crypto, but I think a lot of premium that were in the credit card space is being eaten up by exposure to Bitcoin, defense tech, or tech. My stance on Visa has not changed. I just think when they hit that high, you have to look, they went from 256 to 357 in less than a year.
Yeah.
So put this in ChatGPT or Perplexity, what is the average range that a stock should run up in a year before it enters a place where it automatically has to retrace back to its mean? Once you see something go up 60% or in tech 120% like we saw in COVID or 2021, you're automatically going to retrace. I like when stocks are steady and they're hitting 20 or 30% growth year over year. But once you get into that 40 to 80 range, you're going to eventually have a pullback. But I still love Visa, love American Express. There's been some consolidation there. Of course, Discover and Capital One merged. Discover's doing well. They'll probably retrace here soon. But I will still hold them long term.
Yeah, I'm with you. Interesting that you gave that Visa breakdown. Just full disclosure, invested in Visa, have option calls in Visa, been part of that run. The stability there obviously is incredible. When you travel, you understand the importance of Visa in terms of payment processing. You'll see that everywhere. Some of these companies you will not see everywhere. American Express is not accepted everywhere. You know, I love American Express. both American Express and Mastercard kind of been flat for the year to date. I think 1% that they're both sitting on about that much. Which is with Visa is their, I guess, kind of their merger or their dive into the crypto space. I think they were a bit ahead of the curve of other payment card processing companies. They were kind of the first to try to figure out how to work with Circle. We saw Circle as a stable coin IPO last week. But I tied their recent pullback, Visa I'm speaking of, into what's happened with this Genius Act, right? When stable coins are now being discussed from the federal government standpoint. When you had a lead in that space and now there's regulation to make that more of an open market, and you see Amazon and you hear about Walmart trying to figure out how to actively explore a stablecoin payment system, that's naturally going to start to cave into some of the business that Visa was doing. So I still like them long term, but that pullback, that's why I asked you, what are you seeing from a standpoint of why the recent pullback? Having that open market now for payment processing from big, e-commerce leaders, having more than just the option of Visa will affect them short term, but long term, I love Visa. I think it'll be the leader in the space for sure.
And one of the greatest things that's not talked about in business is investing in your competition. Zuckerberg did a great job of patching up the issue that he had with Palmer. I don't know what position they have, but I think for the stripes, they should have invested in, because Visa's market share has went from 50% in 2021 down to 41.7 this year. And like you said, they just have a lot more competition that is popping up. Do I think it would be the erosion of their business? No, but anytime I start to see any market share or market sentiment adjustments to the negative, I automatically get terrified. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this. It's the consumer sentiment these days is extremely low. A lot of people are already feeling economic pressure, pullback, the recession, whatever you want to call it. We see it in everything. Even rumors that Beyonce's tickets was reselling for lower prices, right? Like the Beyonce's an indicator of the economy.
Dynamic pricing.
And we're gonna talk about it on Wednesday, but shout out to the homie B Simone. Even she was saying that she had to make some economic choices when it comes to the retail space. But with that happening, and then the S&P hitting an all-time high, is there a disconnect in the stock market, or is this a recipe for a fall off the cliff moment when the market catches up with the reality of what's happening on the street?
No, there's a disconnect between the stock market and the economy, and there always will be a disconnect there. I look at them as two different economic engines, even though they may look similar. The stock market is its own beast. I know retail has gotten popular over the last 5 years, but we have to be very clear. Institutions and the higher powers above institutions run S&P, Vanguard, the treasury bond market, stable coins, and now crypto. So while the sentiment may be negative, as it should be, I was even thinking this weekend, like the erasure of retail as a sector. Like pre-COVID, I remember when Walmart would be open 24 hours. There are not many places that are open to 2 a.m. So there's just been like a decline overall in the retail space, and the cost of everything has gotten so high. But the S&P and the stock market is its own engine. Like we said, we're on the midst of a war, and one of the greatest technology companies in the history of America now is in the arms business. I never had to, but that's the other sector rotation that isn't talked about, as the involvement into other sectors that you normally would not be a part of, to make sure that you survive and keep that top billing spot amongst those indexes. So,
yeah. So the whales will be whales, right? Institutions
absolutely
move the market, retail investors consume the companies on the market.
Yep.
So what about people that are looking to get into the stock market but waiting for a drop? Is this something that they could say, okay, it's all-time high, don't buy at the highs, recession is here, or recession is coming, or economic downturn has affected, I'll just wait it out because I know that the stock market is going to fall based off of variety of different factors.
I don't think it's going to fall anytime soon. The thing I will say, there is a correction in the market every month, and if you know how to use indicators properly, there's an entry every day. Like hypothetically for VOO, if we got down to 546.89, I would like to get in at that price if I was starting over today. But anytime, Drew sent me this, like anytime CNBC has one of those market and turmoil specials, after 1 year, your average return would be 40% with a 100% success rate. So the indicate in the Market Mondays, we've told you endlessly, probably 300 companies of where to invest. I think you can have a personal recession while the market is doing well, and that's a very shitty feeling. Like, so you have to have exposure to the market every month, regardless of what happens, because if not, we can be very honest, the job market is never going to recover, but these stocks are going to go up, it seems like endlessly and into perpetuity. I remember even in 2012, some people was calling the death of Apple and began to short Apple, and they continue to have a run through now. So you have to invest for the long term in order to make sure you stay out of your own personal recession.
Yeah. And there was moments this year. If you look at January 27th, when we had DeepSeek, it was a market
great correction. Time. All of April. Yep.
If you look at whatever he labeled it on April 4th, right, or April 7th, there was a market correction and it pulled back. I don't know. I mean, by definition, recession we won't hit a recession based on the definition of 2 negative quarters.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever have a traditional recession again.
Because we felt from all the looks of it when we looked into April, like, hey, the way this is looking, if this bleeds into May, this will lead to a negative second quarter. The second quarter is going to be over next week. And from the looks of it, as of today, it's a positive quarter. And so, yes, the first one was rough. The second one started out rough, but we've recovered, actually past the lows, and now are going to some of the highs in the S&P. And so by definition, it won't fit that. But like you said, I think one of those indicators we should be watching is the job market, because that will determine whether they're going to raise or lower interest rates. But even that, now they're saying that it's going to be pushed up to September. That was a report today that interest rates are going to be dropped, which, helps retail investors. So invest, but you don't want to time it. You want to have opportunities when you see opportunities.
Okay?
You got to take advantage of opportunities. And there's been at least 2 to 3 this year where if it wasn't the entire sector, definitely companies that we've spoken about have hit barriers. It was like, all right, this is a barrier for entry.
It's going to be one of the times where I let my hubris show. April, I told you the market will recover in 62 days, recover quicker than that. If you didn't take advantage of it, I'm sorry. Lo siento. Get your tickets to InvestFest. But if you do want to know where to get into the market and never want to have to guess, go to eatinvest.com.
I'm about to say, you forgot?
This ear infection is kicking my ass, boy.
Come on, man.
eatinvest.com. Join the Red Panda Stock Club. Stock Club call will be Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, then blackout at 9 p.m. Central with 2 amazing guests. I love y'all. You should have listened, though. Should have listened. I'm sorry. There will be another opportunity probably right before InvestFest. I can guarantee it.
Summer months upon us.
Yes. That week of August 17th through 24th.
Oh, it's always been rough.
Usually. Oh my God.
It's been rough.
Which makes it even more important.
I take pictures. I take pictures of that week just to see what the portfolio is going to be. Reminder.
Speaking of, how to track and know and different things in nature, what's one economic indicator that retail investors ignore but should track weekly for better entries into the market?
Market Mondays. Y'all can look for all these fancy ass put to call ratio. Just tune in every week. Like hypothetically, if we just turn this into a hedge fund, I would push for 3 and 30 minimum, ideally 4 and 40. If the only investment is 2 hours and you get to keep all the profits, what are you missing out on? So that's my weekly indicator. I was gonna give another one when I first came in, but no, nothing bigger than program.
That's fair. On a weekly basis, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because like even this past weekend, my mom was like, you realize that like your sustainability has been greater than Kramer's? And I'm still a fan of Jim despite his last 10-year run. The first 5 that Jim had, oh my God, what? But I think it's just important to take out the fear when it comes to investing personally, regardless of what you do for a living, because the erasure of a bunch of economies is only going to continue to increase. Like, I never would thought I would see the day where Pfizer is in a free fall and Hims is performing like Pfizer of 2000. Like, economies of scale of just being destroyed, and there are new companies that are emerging as a result. And if you're not putting your money to work and having the best entrepreneurs work for you on your behalf, what are you doing?
Yeah. Noble's taking a beating too. But I think I agree. And obviously, I mean, we might be biased here, but even if we told you things like GDP, or we said, look at CPI, or hey, you should look at the job market, you would still need someone to explain to you what that actually means.
What the data means.
Yeah, what that data means, how to interpret it, what it means for you as a retail investor, how you can use that to your advantage. And so, yeah, I'm biased. I think we're the perfect place for that, because we're going to tell you exactly, like just in the last minute, that's what the job market is looking at. How many people have applied for unemployment this week?
Yeah.
That tells us something, right? That tells the Fed something. That tells whether they're going to raise or lower rates. That can affect you. We could say the acronyms, but they won't mean anything without context. And so,
and experience. Like, it's one thing to put something in ChatGPT, but not having lived it. Like, even go to April when we had the drought, and if you're on TradingView, put on order flow, and then see the put and call ratio and how when things shifted. Like, little tips like that, knowing when to get into the market, when to get out, when to then apply the futures, when to apply the options. Like, that's life-changing.
What percentages you're looking at.
Absolutely.
Right. Having a long-term outlook. I mean, all these little nuggets that you just pick up all the way. Obviously, we've been doing it for 6 years now, so and people take it for granted. But this is a valuable resource that a lot of people are taking advantage of. Shout out to everybody that's in here right now.
Yeah. Rashad, your FU number is 100
milli. I mean, we could settle for a little bit lower than that, but I just feel like that's bulletproof. Like,
yeah,
that's the bulletproof.
I'm trying to curse before then, but it's a good number.
Yeah, I told Nicole 50. I'm out of here. Nicole's like, shout out to her. She's dope. 50. Good night. It's been real.
That's when you do the internal media play. Market Mondays for the Vatican.
GG's. Oh, also, talking about InvestFest, read an article in the New York Post about Michael Rubin's Fanatic Fest. I'm sure you've probably seen it. With he had LeBron James and Tom Brady and Jay-Z was there and stuff like that. So, it's interesting because when you look at entrepreneurship, there's different levels that I think a lot of people are not fully aware of and privy to, right? Where it's like, okay, that's a big event. He brings a lot of celebrities through. Got it. But, it's interesting what he said, at least, is that last year that his event lost $14 million.
Wow.
15. Okay. Don't cheat him.
So, okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means to me is that you got to have even more of appreciation for an InvestFest. Not to beat the dead horse here, but
yeah, for real.
As a Black entrepreneur, a lot of times you don't have the luxury. This is what
that one loss will cripple most businesses.
It's over.
But that happens a lot across the board, right? Where it'll be a loss leader, a tax write-off just to boost your brand, but you're looking at profitability in 5 years. Jeff Bezos was on the Tonight Show, is a legendary clip, and Jay Leno was joking with him like, when is your company ever going to be profitable? This was like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
and he was saying like it's going to take time to get profitable. We got to be profitable from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or there is no day two. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That part. That's the difference.
That's the part of business that I think a lot of people don't fully understand. We don't have the luxury to not be profitable, because if we're not profitable, then there's no show.
He lost 15 last year.
Yeah, last year. He said it probably won't be profitable this year. When you talk about because people forget the cost of activations, you got to get people there. All these things add up. Now, obviously, it's a $1 billion company at this point. But they're taking a loss every year. He doesn't know when it's going to be profitable.
So when you put together these events and you get the top level celebrities, and like this is top level celebrities that we're talking about as far as that we've been able to curate, right? And top level business people and top level billionaires and high level activations, just don't take that for granted because it's difficult.
Incredibly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is somebody that literally lost $15 million on an event.
And that's what, and to have a lit event and not make money on it is cool. You got Casa not and Cash and LeBron. Man. What?
Who else can you? I mean, Jordan. That's probably the only person that's not there that he could have had in that space.
But that just highlights one particular area. Like I said, this could be a tech company. This can be an engineering firm. This can be a lumber company. A lot of times, what we lack in our community, we talk about access to capital, but we lack access to runway.
That's a great point.
Like it takes a runway to be able to fly a plane, right? Like sometimes the runway is the size of a couple football fields. We're flying planes off a 50-foot
driveway.
Exactly. There's no room for error, and you almost got to be. It's almost a miracle to take a plane off on a 50-foot driveway. That's actually a miracle. You got to be an extremely skilled pilot, and is one in a million. That's what when you see certain level of success, you got to understand that it's impossible.
Yeah.
Like sometimes in mathematics, when something has such a low probability of happening, they just deem it as this is just impossible, right? If it's like 0.1, like the number is so low that it's a possibility, but technically it's impossible. That's what we are.
Fact.
Humbly.
No.
Respectfully.
No, respectfully, not humbly.
No,
respectfully.
But it's a learning, but it's not even to brag.
It's a learning. Yeah.
It's a learning. I just wanted to because it's business. It's a business. So when you start your business, just understand that type of obstacles that you're up against, right? And then on top of that, you're going to have to deal with some level of criticism, jealousy, and envy from people that look just like you. That's the part that's hurtful the most. That's the most hurtful part of this situation, because it's like if you do something that's impossible, you're not only providing inspiration and motivation for somebody else, but you're also providing a pathway and a blueprint for somebody else to potentially do what you did. But
and give you no equity in it.
When you have some level of hate, jealousy, and criticism from people that you're actually leading on a certain level to the same promised land that you're trying to get to yourself, that's hurtful.
Well, I want to commend y'all, because even like, I mean, how long did it take for the Jack Dorsey thing to come together?
No comment.
But these things take
it takes time, man. We keep saying it over and over.
Like,
that's what, like, I had this conversation.
Like you sit through 4 years of no's to get a maybe. Last year, that to go fly to Miami and hang out for 14 hours.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact.
And that goes for anyone, anybody that you see up there. It takes time. It takes nurturing. It takes networking. It takes building relationships with people who are around the person. It takes conversations. It takes text messages that don't get responded to for 3 months.
Yeah.
And you just got to be patient.
Yep.
And don't take it personal.
And work through it.
Yeah, that's it.
But for the clothes that I see out there,
what's happening here, right? Like, people don't fully understand what's happening. What happening here is something that is revolutionary, right? And it has to work. We don't have the advantage of it not working. It has to work, because it's not just us, right? If it don't work for us, imagine how hard it's going to be for the next person that's trying to kick this down. We got to kick this door down. We got to get it right, and we got to do it at a high level of excellence. And that's what we're doing every single year, over and over. So shout out to all the partners who have been with us. Shout out to the new partners that are here with us this year. It takes that, right? Because if we don't get it done, it's not going to happen. So you got to support us. You got to protect us. You got to make sure that you champion it, because this is important.
Speaking of other great African Americans, got to give credit to Elon Musk. Robotaxis.
Yeah, man.
Elon, I was wrong.
If we're gonna give credit, and we use Dan Ives all the time when we talk about technology, from all reports of everything he said, is that he had an expectation for it, and it far exceeded the expectation.
It's not a scale yet, but they are. I do know some people in Austin who actually saw them out.
it was a success. So it's starting in Texas. It's going to be very small fleets right now, and I think they had drivers in the cars.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, because it's brand new technology and they're rolling this thing out, there were drivers in the vehicles for this one, but obviously the purpose of it is to not have anyone in the car.
Yeah.
Well, also talking about having leeway to run, no greater leeway than what Elon Musk has been given. But
Oof.
that aside, has he turned to ship with this Tesla situation? He's been off the radar a little bit last couple of weeks. He hasn't been as forward facing as he was. He stepped away from the political scene a little bit. He even kind of said on Twitter that he's the biggest troll of all time, which I guess is trying to downplay some of the comments that he made. He's more focused on the business, he said. So has the Tesla ship been turned around?
Not turned around all the way, but they're heading in the right direction. I said when him and Trump first broke up, when he said he's going to be sleeping in the office, I'm like, a focused Elon is dangerous. I think they'll eventually get to maybe like 415, 30, maybe by October. I think he just needs to assemble some stronger executives he needs like his Tim Cook, even though they have a great operator. When he's away on a ketamine sabbatical, or he just
alleged.
goes off in whatever political arena he wants to go into, he needs an operator there that is going to run the ship properly. But I do think he has turned things around in terms of being focused. And a lot of times when relationships don't go right, it will make you focused again on the projects that you should be focused on. And not to pat him on the back, but he kind of got used in that political, like he was supposed to be Tony Stark, right? But then Peter comes in quietly, gives the same kind of support to Trump, and Palantir now is the biggest defense tech company in the world. Like, I think he's going to find a way to eventually get his revenge, and it's going to be through Tesla and Starlink eventually.
This is I don't know if they've righted the ship. I feel like obviously people were tying him to a political campaign, and the overall sentiment around him was negative. The Robotaxi has always been on the vision board. It has always been at the front of it. This is the technology here this is a game changer. This is a game changer in terms of profitability for him, right? When you talk about selling cars and the margins that he makes from the sales of cars, and obviously taking some of those government initiatives away, that hurts those margins. The margins on the Robotaxi are so high that it changes the company forever, which obviously gives him more. I mean, like that, not that he needs more cash or cash flow, but to create even more innovative things. Obviously, Starlink. But who knows what's next?
I would say this: I would not want him as a competitor or enemy. And if I help rig the election for you, let my kid wipe a booger on your fucking desk,
and let me put the Teslas in front of the White House. But this is a good start. And sure. we said this a couple of weeks ago when we saw Tesla pull back. They get this right. This little blimp in the road will be an asterisk, right?
Absolutely.
From all reports of what people have seen, they're off to a good start. And
those robots that they had were supposed to be used for national security purposes. I'm not sure if that contract will be fulfilled, but like if he makes one or two right partnerships and he's focused for 3 or 4 years, off to the moon. Yeah.
And even the autonomous driving thing is, we talked about Waymo. Waymo just actually they announced that they're starting in New York City over the summer. Yeah, so that should be interesting.
Really?
Driverless cars in New York City.
Allegedly.
That's a vibe.
New York City can't even agree upon congestion pricing. I doubt very seriously that the liberal-led government of New York City will ever agree upon autonomous driving vehicle. Maybe if
Adams got to start partying and get in the office and do some work.
We'll see.
Mayor Adams, can we get taxis, please?
Andrew Cuomo, man, this guy got kicked out of the office as governor and came back running for mayor, only in America.
You gotta vote tomorrow. New York City. Get outside.
Be mindful.
You think Cuomo gonna take it?
Who are you endorsing?
I don't live in New York City.
Oh my God. It's political bullshit. What? Who you voting for?
I can't. We don't live in New York City. We don't have a vote.
Who are you endorsing? You don't have to live in New York City to endorse somebody.
Who are the two candidates?
He's in the lead. Cuomo's in the lead right now.
Zohran Mamdani.
He's in second.
And well, allegedly. We don't
Based
know.
on the polls. Pause.
Depending on who we're polling.
Pause.
And
I led by that.
Andrew Cuomo. Those are the two front runners.
Yeah.
Andrew, send that email, my boy.
So you don't have a voice in this.
No.
I am endorsing Zohran Mamdani. Right, it's the right thing to do. Sometimes in life you gotta stay on the right side of history.
Why is it the right thing to do?
Because he seems to be focused on the people and not the institutions. If you watch the debate, I watched that debate, and then it was pretty alarming. Some of the things that was said, and he was the odd man out. Odd man out. Stood alone.
So you like the Bernie Sanders of New York City?
He's the Bernie Sanders of New York City. They said if he wins, all the hedge fund managers will be leaving immediately.
They ready to go to Miami anyway.
Anyway.
What? Ken Griffin sell some of them lots he got down there.
So for what it's worth, that is my endorsement for New York City mayor. I believe in his campaign.
Okay.
Cuomo on 5.
Cuomo, I think he'll win. I think he'll win.
Yeah, I think he'll win. I'm not
shout out
saying
to New York City.
I think he'll win.
Shout out to New York City, all the children in New York City. It's the last week of school for them. Shout out to all the teachers, everybody graduating this year. I forgot to say that. Shout out to everybody that's graduating as well. We got 2 graduations in the household this week.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Education at the forefront. That's my most important thing. What are we doing for education?
Nothing.
That's another conversation.
No. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Nothing for education.
Don't say nothing. There's some guys who are creating some stuff for education.
Well, that's already been created.
Well, that needs to be implemented throughout New York City.
Well, that's why
even every roadblock in that. Like once I found out that the institutions don't want the kids to know what they need to know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Even if you do it for free.
Man versus machine.
Yep.
Man versus machine.
Yeah.
I know some guys.
Yeah.
But yeah. Did you take it to investors?
Crude is not going to $300 a barrel. I don't care what strait they close.
Somebody text you that?
Well, let's talk about it because that's something that a lot of people are concerned about as far as the price of oil. With this potential situation escalating. We already said that. So I actually spoke to shout out to Blair, my connect in China, and she was saying like she doesn't think this will happen, but it could potentially happen. Even last time where even China, there's shipments from China that go from China to New York. It goes through like Middle Eastern shipping routes. And last time it got crazy. They started hijacking ships and, it just wasn't safe. So they had to reroute from Middle East to Cape of Good Hope, South Africa.
Oh,
which obviously what that does is that has a longer time frame and that causes more money. So she said that she doesn't think that could happen, but it did happen before. There's a precedent for it happening. Not just China, a lot of places in the world. They had to reroute their shipping because it just got too dangerous to come through the Middle East. So they had to go all the way down.
Yeah. What's that additional like 2 or 3 weeks?
I'm not sure the exact time frame, but long story short, that's going to cause problems.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that could actually impact things on the real world. But the oil situation, they said 20% of the world's oil gets moved through there. Yemen, like I said, Yemen already said, and they've done this before. They've done this a few months ago. Trump had to. So the thing with Trump is that people don't know they attacked Yemen. It didn't work. It didn't work. That's why he had a treaty. Like, okay, look, just let our ships, don't mess with our ships. And they like, okay, we negotiated a deal. And they didn't tell Israel about that. Israel wasn't happy about that. So Yemen's like, we really don't have nothing to lose because Yemen's a very poor country. They don't have diplomatic ties with anybody. So they're like, us hijacking ships is not really that big of a deal. You trying to attack us, we're not like a traditional military type thing. It's hard. It's hard to fight that type of fight.
Yep.
So you don't know how to fight that fight. So they've threatened that already. So the price of oil, is this something to be concerned about?
Yes, but I think the forgive me. I think it's been overhyped for it to go 300 a barrel, 220 a barrel. There are some safeguards in place that will prevent that. Like if you look historically at the chart, ticker USO, I think the all-time high is 958. If you look at the actual crude chart on Thinkorswim /CO, the all-time high is 147.27. It does not benefit any party for crude prices to go that high, because the last time crude were in the ranges of $100 a barrel and upward, it does put pressure on the economy, in addition to inflation being at an all-time high for our lifetime, not knowing when the Fed is going to adjust rates, weakening job market, AI decaying the job market in many careers that are unknown. It's another straw on a camel's back that is already broken, that does not need to be placed there. So I try and take the emotion out of it and look at the data. I think it's less than a 2% chance that we'll go to like $150 a barrel. Will there be some constraints? Will there be price increases eventually? Yes, but 150, 200, 300, no. The probability of that is very low.
How often, or maybe you don't at all, do you trade crude? I find it very difficult. You do though.
You have to have a wider stop given the erratic nature, and it's a great lesson too. I'm glad you brought this up. Every instrument that you trade has its own personality, so you have to adjust your entry and your exits based and your stop loss based on that. Crude and NASDAQ are like Tasmanian devils that are size of woolly mammoths. Like, it's a different beast, and when it's in your favor, one of the greatest feelings ever. But it's a very fast moving instrument, so you have to have a wider stop, especially on the futures market if you're going to trade it. That natural gas, the VIX, NASDAQ, you have to be careful with. The slower moving ones like bonds are easy. They're more even kill. S&P 500 is even kill, but like the German DAX, very volatile. So everything that you trade, you have to assess the personality of each and understand what your risk profile is going to be for whatever you're trading. And if you want to hear more gems like this, get your tickets to InvestFest. Red Panda, your code is in Telegram. If you miss it, so be it. You'll be entered into the raffle for the dinners and to meet Paul Judge. Maybe, who knows? No, you can't come with me to the dinners.
The new raffle.
Okay.
The deal room. Get your tickets to InvestFest.
The deal room. VIP Platinum, VIP, the deal room.
Yeah.
Deal room. Okay. Let's talk about Apple. They released their paper. Did you read it?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think that if I didn't put out any amazing AI technology while I'm sitting on enough money to buy Syria free and clear, it probably would behoove me to chat GPT a paper about why AI and Perplexity and Claude are not capable of some of the things that they're reporting to be able to do while I have no tech. It's crazy they put out that paper, and then after I've been screaming this on Market Mondays, the little executives got together and are initially putting the bid together for Perplexity. You got a Microsoft Word and wrote disparaging remarks about OpenAI and Claude and Canva and Manus, while Siri is the shittiest AI product in all of tech right now, and your way to combat that was a Google Doc.
All right, well,
no.
All right, let's do this then. Let's do this.
No.
Let's do this. Is it yeah? So is it okay? Shittiest is subjective, but is it one of the most trusted?
Ian Dunlap, Red Panda. These are my thoughts and my views only. Doesn't reflect on Rashad, Troy, InvestFest, Earn Your Leisure, etc.
Yeah.
Siri is the shittiest AI product in all of tech. I don't give a fuck how many times y'all close my accounts down. I'm tired of y'all wasting money. In the era of everyone wanting to partner with you and add their stuff to your ecosystem is over with. It's over with.
All right, so I read. Here's why I read it.
I read the paper
I'm
too.
with you. I'm with you on everything you just said. But I started thinking like, yo, they're too smart. There's too much cash flow. This doesn't make any sense. This is starting to feel a little bit deliberate. Like, what if they're doing like this strategy? Like, let's just take a totally different perspective. Like, it becomes deliberate where they're looking at their competition overpromise for months, maybe years now, and then those competitors can't deliver, right?
But they've delivered.
Well, some of them have. Some of them is still hypothetical. We don't know if the valuations will actually match the company's actual plan on what they're delivering. We don't know yet. Some of them, right? Then the other part is from a regulatory standpoint, we don't know what the regulations will look around AI. It hasn't been settled yet. It's still new. Are they waiting to see how that plays out? Because what they still have, and it's kind of like when we thought, when you brought the question, why Meta, right? Meta has 3.5 billion users across all platforms.
Yep.
Apple has 2 billion phones in the world right now.
Yep. And distribution. Yep.
So they have the distribution model. Are they playing the wait game to see how this plays out, to say, all right, we've seen the regulatory, we've seen them not be able to deliver. Here we come with our stuff. And if that's the strategy, how long can they hold out before it's too late?
And that's my thing. I think that strategy, like, it worked for the Pacers. You're going to come back. Hallie going to do a step. That's great for the first round and second round. Given the regulatory environment, Tim Cook doesn't have the best relationship with Trump, with America having their eyes on China. I'm going to keep saying this. $56 billion invested in China, and no one better than I. I've never been married, but if I was, and I gave another woman $56 billion over 5 years, I think my wife would probably be upset. That's part of the reason they're in crossfire over Foxconn. And you can make the assessment that maybe they wouldn't be able to build the technology here in the United States. Do what you've been doing at the same plant here in Houston. Bring them over from Foxconn, have them train the workers, then ship them back. I think the trying to be last to market and just inundate us with the product like they did that U2 album on Apple Music back in the day.
Oh, that was crazy.
It's not going to work this time, because I want everyone in chat, Google how many users does OpenAI currently have? And think about it. Sam Altman is not the most beloved founder or CEO either. Despite they are kicking ass in that space. And they made it's the first time in my life since I was 11-year-old writing Method Man lyrics on the Apple II that Apple is behind the technological curve for the consumer. I never thought I would see it happen.
Okay. I don't know. It does feel deliberate. And even the OpenAI situation is interesting because that relationship that they have with Microsoft, even though there's the partnership there, that is fading.
Oh, very fast.
So Sam
Sam understands his value. His company is a new pretty girl on the block, and she don't want to be in a relationship with Microsoft, the old dusty dude. Now she want to get something fresh and new. Apple, you should have put the bid in the first time. Got you.
But they have enough.
They
have the capital to be there for the second round.
Maybe rebound play. Dennis Rodman. Maybe. I just think Apple has underwhelmed the last 5 years.
Agreed.
Microsoft is reportedly prepared to walk away from his partnership with OpenAI.
But I've been saying that for 6 months now.
We were talking about you got to walk away if they're ready to cheat. OpenAI, they're ready to go to the highest bidder, and they want to stand alone.
Yeah, but I mean, the writing was on the wall, and we brought this up when Stargate was brought. Stargate was an original idea between Microsoft and OpenAI, right? when it was announced in the White House on, I believe it was the 20th of January of this year, Microsoft was nowhere to be found.
No, and Rashad brought this up, like one of your best lessons.
It was Oracle.
You can't do a good deal with a bad person. Sam Altman fucked Elon out of OpenAI. If you look at the SEC, even going back to Y Combinator, there's some founders in Y Combinator who talk about papers who had to paper for the origin idea for OpenAI, and then somehow Sam had a dream, and now it's his technology.
I'm with you. So then, now how do we view Larry Ellison? Because Oracle says we'll take on the partnership for Stargate.
I think Larry's just doing what he's called in his friendship capital.
Friendship capital.
But like this is high level tech. Game of Thrones right now.
Yeah, SoftBank is part of it as well.
It's a lot of maneuvering. Like it's been one of the most exciting times, but in the same way, Bill Gates was kind of nefarious in how he got his initial operating system deal. Sam is fruit off of that tree.
Yeah, and he's shaking shit up. Even the partnership with Lisa and AMD. When it was, hey, NVIDIA. That's always the same. And now it's like, hey, we got somebody else we can use as well.
And Sam realized too, I'm a kingmaker. I don't need to be attached to a king. Microsoft, you're great. Even going to blackout, like you have to know when someone wants you for you. That's in your personal life and in business. You can see the right. If he left Y Combinator the way that he did, if the nonprofit structure got reorganized, and then when it became a for-profit structure, certain people got moved and bought out, and now you partner with Microsoft. If a person has a history of leaving in a fashion that is not favorable, why do you think that you're going to be the lucky one?
Microsoft is reportedly prepared to walk away from ongoing negotiations with OpenAI regarding the future structure of their partnership. The discussions involve OpenAI's possible shift from public benefit corporation, which needs Microsoft's approval. They will also be negotiating changes to Microsoft's future ownership of OpenAI, which proposals range from 20% to 49%. Microsoft currently has exclusive rights to sell OpenAI's models and earn 20% of revenue up to $92 billion. OpenAI is now looking for more flexible terms.
I bet.
If they don't reach a new deal, Microsoft may continue to use its current contract, which gives access to OpenAI's technology through 2030.
2030, okay.
Microsoft's multi-billion-dollar investment in OpenAI have played a major role in making it a leader in artificial intelligence space. So the thing about it, how I see it also is a thing where, like I said, there's no such thing as a bad deal. You signed the record contract because at that point in time,
that's what you needed.
You was living in your mother's basement, and $100,000 was life-changing money. Then you sold $5 million, and then you got on Vlad and said, I got screwed.
I got robbed. Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't have signed that. If it was a bad deal, you wouldn't have signed it. It's a bad deal now because you're a multi-platinum artist.
Hindsight, yep.
You're a diamond status, right? Like, yeah, you're right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. I think when we brought up the conversation, I feel like this was months ago. It was
probably 5 months ago, yeah.
It was like I think your argument was there's no bad deal. Even if they sell their shares, Microsoft still walks away with hundreds of billions of dollars. That's what I'm saying. They're still gonna make a lot of money.
You're not gonna get me out without or I'll just wait.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because like it's the writing has been on the wall. You could hear the rumblings, then you start seeing more. It's like you think about the amount of CEOs that Sam Altman has now worked with, and now how they're
falling out with.
Are you talking about the richest people on the planet? Elon, Ellison.
I mean, Microsoft's they're gonna make a lot of money from this situation.
They're definitely make a lot of money.
Satya, yeah.
If they get 20%.
We'll see.
Of revenue?
We'll see.
What?
We'll see.
Microsoft wants to be married. OpenAI want a financial freak off. You got to partner with people who want the same thing as you. And that leech strategy is something that he has employed a lot of, and other people do. You have to look out for partners who are just trying to use you to get to the next level.
Threw shots at Zuckerberg last week, 100 million. He's like, you're not getting the best of our people. Of course, they don't want to leave. They're happy where they're at. 100 million, walk away.
Wolf in sheep clothing, perhaps. Who knows?
You never know.
You never know. But we do have a guest. We got a few guests this week, but we got hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So, Liv McCrae.
Yes.
Have a business called Live with Nature. So this is something that I think is important because, we spoke with a lot of Fortune 500 CEOs and billionaires, but it's important to highlight entrepreneurs that have small businesses because that's the lifeline of America. There's a lot more people with businesses that employ, 5 people, 3 people, 2 people, then employ 7,000 people, right? So Liv is somebody that has a business and organic topicals like facial stuff and for your hair, different things of that nature. And she's
all vegan. Is it all vegan as well?
All vegan, plant-based.
All vegan. Okay.
And she's participated in InvestFest for a couple of years. So leading up to that, we just wanted to highlight a couple real life stories of entrepreneurs that's getting it done. So we're going to talk to you for a couple of minutes. So first and foremost, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to even be a part of this platform.
So talk about, I'm interested to hear, because we're going to talk about, InvestFest, but I'm interested to hear from your perspective. You're on the ground, right? We talk about the economy a lot. Have you felt any pressure on your business as far as people spending less money? Like, have you felt the economy as a business owner? Like, what's your take on how things is going now?
Absolutely. My take is the ingredients that I buy, the materials that I use to make my products, they have gone up in prices, but because I'm committed to being in a premium organic product at affordable prices, my percentages have, my profit percentages have definitely decreased. And I'm just staying true to the game. I'm very grateful for my A1 supporters who are still rocking with me. I offer discounts. I offer, all of my ingredients are packaged in eco-friendly packaging. So if you return any of the bottles or the anything that your products come in, then I also give you an incentive for a discount as well. So I'm constantly trying to think of ways to not hit the consumer's pockets, because my goal is, everyone deserves to have access to premium products and it not break their bank.
So talk to us about Live with Nature's journey, right? This started out as a hand sanitizer and obviously it's evolved into so much through the course of years. Talk about how you got to this point.
Yes. So it's been an evolution journey. I thought about starting off as a hair care company, because I could not continue to buy $30 worth of products that were 0.51 ounces. And so when the pandemic hit, I wanted to have access to my hand sanitizer that was eco-friendly as well as plant-based and safe for everyone to use. And that blew up. That was a hit. And so over time, I've developed oral care, household cleaning products, skincare. That's actually my last line that I came out with, but that's something that's essential when you have an organic product business. But yes, the sanitizer has carried me through, and I feel like it's one of my staples for sure.
For any entrepreneurs that are watching tonight that may be feeling the same pressure of consumer spending less, what have you done in your business to make sure that the business is profitable? And what marketing ideas have you deployed, like in the last year since InvestFest, that has helped you tremendously?
Well, I have decreased my overhead. So I did used to have a store inside the new Blackwell Street in Atlanta, and it was amazing. I loved it. But once I crunched the numbers, I had to decrease my overhead. So because I have a low overhead, that is why I'm able to continue to offer the affordable prices that I have. Marketing, social media has been amazing for me. Also word of mouth. What I'm so grateful for is when people receive my products, receive their packages, I put care into how to package it. And I'm really grateful for everyone. So they'll tell their friend, and next thing I know, I continue to have orders. And like I said, I'm just genuinely grateful. So yeah, social media, word of mouth. I also do community events. I love being a part of the community. So
it's interesting that you say that, because whenever I get an opportunity to speak publicly and I get asked as far as like what's my advice for entrepreneurs, I genuinely always say the same thing, and it's to keep overhead low.
Yes.
And I say like that's the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make, especially in our community, is that we start businesses like restaurants or hair salons, or these are things that's a brick and mortar businesses, right? And the problem with that is that your expenses stay the same or go up, but your income fluctuates.
Yes.
Right. And that's something that a lot of people don't fully understand when they're going into business, because it's like, okay, it looks good. It's a good look to have a store, really right? Is. Or a physical location, but it's extremely difficult to run because of what I just said. Right. And a lot of times that should probably be the last thing that you do. But people open the store first. We talk about the MVP, right? Minimum viable product. Like, go online first, then do pop-ups, then do like a truck. And then after you're making a lot of money, then you can do like a flagship store. But most of the time, entrepreneurs work backwards. So when did you realize that, that, and talk about that? Because I think it's important for people to fully understand that, like how when cash flow goes down and you still got to maintain your rent, and that becomes difficult.
So it was about 7 months into me owning my store. It was actually July. I didn't realize that the summertime was the time when consumers are not spending as much money. And so when I was crunching the numbers, it's like, okay, well, school will start again, then we'll be into the fall and winter. But ultimately, I decided the amount of money I'm spending on rent and business insurance, things of that nature, I could put that back into pop-ups, which I started off as a pop-up. I could put that back into pop-ups. I can put that into more marketing. I had SEO optimization at one time, so that really helps me. And honestly, InvestFest has really, really, really helped me. I have repeat customers come back every year looking for my table, because what I do is I do all items 2 for $20. You can choose any of my 26 products, 2 for $20. Super easy, and people love it. So, yeah.
Let's talk about that. I mean, the power of InvestFest in parallel to the success of your business, how it's been growing. I believe you were at InvestFest in 2022. Was that your first one?
Right. That was my first one.
Talk about the experience from that until last year, when obviously you were part of the sponsorship team.
Yes. So how I found out about InvestFest, a vendor in 2021, I saw him in California. I'm from California. And I said, yo, where did you get that shirt? He's called Pure Hustle. And I love marketing I love cross branding. And so he said InvestFest. So I looked it up, and in 2022, I was one of the last vendors to sign up. Y'all had sold out. And so I was in the very back. I'm talking about I was the last yellow zone table in the very back. And I doubled my money. And I'm like, what? People came up to my table. They were like, we just want to support. What do you have? And I felt it was such a high that lasted for a couple of months. It's almost like exhilarating and addicting. It was so beautiful to see people like me not only shop, but also network. It wasn't just about shopping and networking. It was about teaching as well. So then 2023, I was like, I got to go back. So 2023, now I'm maybe like a row away from the entertainment hub. And I tripled my money. I'm like, whoa, this is like, and now I'm telling everybody, you got to be at InvestFest. You got to be and it's so much energy inside of me in regard to how InvestFest is so powerful. I love what y'all do. I've taken your marketing tactics. I've taken your business tactics. I use Regis. I use Atlanta Pinnacle for my business address. There's so many gems y'all have dropped that has helped elevate my business. So in 2024, that was the biggest year where the New Black Wall Street, we had 10 vendors from the New Black Wall Street. We came in as a group, and we was in there, and it was just a beautiful thing seeing all of us make money, all of us and genuinely enjoy ourselves. It was such an exhilarating, it's so beautiful to see all of us come together every year in the name of investing. One of you had stated you can go to a concert and enjoy yourself, but what do you get out of that? Well, InvestFest, you not only can get a concert, but you can also get networking, you can elevate your business, and you could also come away with life-changing skills so that way you can incorporate it and create that generational wealth that we all talk about. So it is, I want to say, no matter where you are in the InvestFest vendor space, you will make money. The key is having bundles, having deals, having marketing, and also just not being afraid to talk to people who walk by your table. One of my tactics is I have a sanitizer stand right in front of my table. So now it takes away my pressure of having to talk to you. You can use the sanitizer. They're like, whoa, what is this? It moisturizes and sanitizes. And now that's my foot in the door. So
yeah, if it was your first time, again, because of course I feel like after every event, there's always something you go back and say, well, I wish I could have done this. For the first time vendors, what advice would you give them if they're not as vibrant or social as you, to get attention for people to come to their table and then be able to monetize from it?
I would say your marketing. So whether you have signs that are visible, vibrant colors, whatever your logo colors are, but make sure it's something that where they can read as they're walking by. Scents are really good. So whether you offer products or whatever you offer, people love things that smell good as they walk by, but also just smile. Even if you are not an extrovert, just a simple smile as they walk by is something that will take you further than you even realize.
And you did the swag bags last year.
Yes, I'm so, y'all don't understand how grateful. And what's even crazy is I actually made all 1,500 bottles of sanitizer. I have a printing company here in Atlanta where I pick up, they actually do a lot of product labeling for other vendors as well. So I labeled it, I packaged it in the boxes, and I hand delivered it to the warehouse. And when I got to InvestFest, people would walk by, they were like, I know this is in my swag bag. So they bought more. Then they went back and brought their friends. When I went to the VIP event, people were like, yo, that's your sanitizer. I'm telling y'all, I'm so grateful that you open up that platform for small business owners to really be a community sponsor as well.
Now, I love that because it highlights a few things, and it's like, you got to work for it to work.
Yes.
Right.
That's a good point.
We can bring you to the ocean, but what you do at that point is up to you. So you're like, what you're outlining is strategy.
Yes.
Right. Like you're outlining strategy. You're not just winging it and just saying, okay, I'm here, buy my product. Like, you gotta actually take this serious. But like you said, I mean, you're given the opportunity to be in front of tens of thousands of people over the course of the weekend. If you have a business as a vendor, you have to be able to make money. If you're not making money, then something's wrong in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And my profit margins, like I said, when I offering the bundle deal.
Oh, did we lose Liv?
No, we lost her.
I thought it was me. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was me too.
Okay, you back.
Okay.
Liv, you back. Go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. I know I was talking a lot. No, it's okay.
No, go ahead.
Oh, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say also, as a vendor, we get the 5 wristbands. And so then that's how I bring in my friends. I say, hey, this is an opportunity for you to be a part of something that'll change your life. And in turn, then they get to work at my table and assist. They can go listen to whatever speaker they want to. My sister last year was so overwhelmed, and she was in tears in regard to just the gems that each speaker dropped. She said it was too much for her. She brought her recorder, and she's still listening to those recordings now. And she's still trying to digest and all of the information that she received. So, yeah.
That's powerful.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for coming on.
Is it me again?
And most importantly, thank you for coming to InvestFest. Can you tell the people your business, website, social media, exactly all the things that you sell, so that they can tap in with you?
I apologize. I think the connection was lost again. Can you repeat that? Can you
tell your business website and social media handle and everything?
Yes. So my business website is www.livewithnature.com. So of course it's a wordplay off of my first name, LIV with nature.com. And I'm currently offering buy one, get one half off of all products until the end of July. Then I'll have another promotion for InvestFest. Everywhere on social media, it's at Live with Nature, LIV with Nature.
We appreciate you, Liv, and I personally appreciate you because the hand sanitizer play is very important. We shake a lot of hands. Some of them are sweaty palms, and I appreciate all those who have sweaty palms that decide not to shake our hands. But we need that hand sanitizer, so we appreciate you. I'm looking forward to visiting you this year. We're less than 60 days away, so I'm excited to see you.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm at booth 338, so thank you. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Booth 338. Thank you.
See you soon.
Happy Monday.
All right.
That was great. That was
great. Yeah, it was great.
You know, I think
a double then triple.
A few things that, yeah, for sure. But I really liked. You know, I think that was really, we should do that more often as far as bringing like just small business owners on, because they speak. A lot of times we talk about like Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, and we talk about stocks and we interviewing people that's at a very high level. But I think it's good to hear from people that's, you know, on the ground, just like everybody else, as far as, you know, making it happen, because like I said, that's the majority of people, and that's the people that you really have more in common with. But I think she spoke very eloquently about the brick and mortar situation. Like that's something I've been saying for a long time. So I'm glad that she said it. And I think that she was very on point when it comes to like the marketing that she had. Like, look, I'm gonna do everything for $20, 2 for $20.
That's brilliant.
I got that.
She got the bundle,
the swag bags. I got the hand sanitizer in front. So when you come to me, I'm already breaking the ice. I'm making it comfortable because you need the hand sanitizer. And then it's like, oh, what's this? And that starts the conversation. Like these are all things you learn in sales. So I thought that was a really dope conversation.
I think it's important what you just said, that we highlight more stories like that, right? Because we always talk about invest in terms of your brokerage account into companies like the ones we mentioned, but more importantly, like we can invest in our community and the businesses in our community to help them thrive, which we're going to use on a daily basis. Not to say that obviously the Mag 7 and all the things in the semi space we don't, you know, see value in, but like seeing value in each other is equally, if not even more important. We want to see these businesses thrive. Like you said earlier, we don't get a second chance to make this right? Like we have to get it right the first time. So yeah, it's important. We should definitely continue this highlight.
The interview was amazing too. That's another part. When people are walking around, you don't know who is who, so you may actually end up meeting an investor into your business. But if your disposition or your team's disposition is off, it can go awry pretty fast. So I think energy matters a lot.
Yeah, Liv was ready. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Yes, I just got a text from somebody in Washington, D.C.
What they say?
I will fill you in off camera. Don't want to offend my political connects. But,
wow. Breaking news.
You never know who's watching.
Yeah.
Crypto legislation is upon us.
Yes. Yep.
Right after Vanguard and BlackRock got their hands in it.
That's a fact. You never know.
Yeah, Circle IPO going crazy. Somebody asked, which one, Circle or CoreWeave? Both.
Ooh. Both. So here's the thing, and this is because I know we have a similar principle when it comes to companies IPOing and waiting at least 6 months, if not 12 months, to invest. Do you make a amendment when it comes to that in terms of these IPOs? Obviously, they've run up. We'll wait for a pullback. I'm sure they will happen. But does a 6-month barrier still hold precedent in your investment portfolio?
Yeah, it does for Circle, CoreWeave, and Anduril. Some people now, if I get it pre-IPO through
even
venture, that's different. But in terms of waiting the 3-month or 6-month period, for sure.
Okay.
Like for people who don't remember, when Facebook went public, they had an issue on the day of the IPO, and there was plenty of times over the next 6 or 7 months to be able to get in. And then of course Meta, once they made the conversion, there was plenty of times to be able to get in. So I know people feel like they're going to miss out, but the number of shares matter more than anything. And you're going to get the alpha based on great entry and great price into that stock. So the only time I would break that rule is if I can get the shares pre-IPO through venture capital.
Yeah, it feels away when you watch Circle run up 300%. You watch CoreWeave run up 200+%. But patience is and investing is a long-term game. So be patient.
And if you learn how to trade futures and get good at it, it's going to take you 2 or 3 years, but you can get the 1,000% to 2,000% return there, low end.
Sniper, the new sniper program is loading.
Yeah.
Loading. Is that a rumor?
Rumor.
It's all alleged. Or they could just watch Market Mondays, Ian. Right?
Sure.
We left GTC. We told them the companies that we saw. Surprise.
Hello, Corey took
Surprise.
off.
Sniper 2. Boy, some things you can't get on Market Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Sniper 2.0.
That's different.
That's a higher level, higher education. But
so I got to come with like a duffel bag full of money to be a judge. I want to be like a celebrity judge too.
All right, let's figure it out. Ian Dunlap has entered the building.
Duffel bag boys, you and 2 Chainz.
Mm-hmm.
Perpetuity contracts.
So damn, Jalen, for sure. I'll sign it. Go ahead. You gotta be a judge for 10 years. 2 million. Gotcha.
All right. So
all hands on deck.
Before we leave, we have another guest. So yeah, once again, shout out to Liv. Support her business. It's really good products too. And man, if you got a small business, I don't know why you don't have a vendor booth. That's a mistake. She just said she tripled her income. What do you
doubled work in year, tripled the next year?
It takes work to work with no commission, by the way.
Say that part again.
No commission.
So people can understand that. These people who vend, there's no commission with that.
Okay. Wait, y'all get no commission on it?
Yeah, no commission.
That's crazy. What? For those who don't know, normally when you go to conferences, they get a percentage of sales.
That's a fact.
That's why I said just reiterate that part.
That's a fact.
It's honorable.
But okay, speaking of the pitch
I
competition,
would have been honorable in that meeting. But go ahead.
Speaking of the pitch competition, it's only right that we bring special guest up to have a word. We're gonna bring the winners of the pitch competition from last year up because why not? We're headed into a new pitch competition this year. So can we bring the guest up?
Let's do it.
Hey.
There it is.
There you go.
Divine Luminous Juices, baby. We in the building. I know y'all heard that before.
Divine Luminous Juice and Wellness.
Yeah.
We have Floyd, Monique, and Tim. Tamil?
Tamil.
Yes.
What's up, y'all?
Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
What's up? Thank you for having us, man.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Be here. We appreciate you.
Floyd, I appreciate you representing for the bald man with beards. Thank you.
Yo, he just cleaned this off extra for y'all, okay? So y'all feel appreciative. It's nice and soft around here.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate it. So last year we did the Nipsey Hussle pitch competition. It was a big thing. And that was the first time that we really did something like that at Invest Fest. And it was $100,000. And it was a lot that went into it, just planning it. The first level of like the auditions for it at the Friday, it was a whole thing. But we got to Saturday and we picked 4 finalists and you won. So I'm gonna ask you, how everything has been. But first and foremost, how was that experience? Like just even going into it, applying, going to the Friday. I know we had a long line on Friday to actually, do it in front of the judge on Friday, then making it, and then being on stage with everybody. And it was the wax guy that went crazy.
Yeah.
So it was strong people on stage. It wasn't like it was a weak competition. How was that? Like what mindset were you in to actually, see it through to the finish line?
So to be honest with you, everything that weekend was really God's son. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to just understand and embody it. But from the time we got there, it was like a halo or a glow around us. When we got there, we knew to come with product, right? Because we can talk about juices all day, but until you try it and you taste it and you consume it, you get to feel the reality of what we're talking about. And when so Floyd didn't get to go. He said he was babysitting, but he wasn't feeling so hot either. So we just decided that crowd, his immune system, he should just kind of take a step back. And Tamil and I, we went there. I was rolling with a cooler. I could care less about who was talking about me in the cooler. Even if you call me the lady with the cooler, that's fine because we won, right? But when we got there, from the door, I had this lady that I ran into that was a volunteer. I explained to her real quick the story. She asked me why we doing juices. I told her, it's off the back of my husband and what's going on in our life. And she said, God told me to tell you that you won. Just like that. Word up, just like that. And I was like, what? And then when we got to the line, because we were there trying to figure out which way to go and how to get into the pitch competition, because we were a walk-in and we were number 46 and we were told it was 50 people, right? So we like, yo, we just made it by the skin of our teeth. We got into the walk-in and I was frantic, y'all, because the juices was frozen. I was trying to thaw them and make sure they was ready for the judges, and just a lot was going on through my mind, but I was there with passion. And we were there with passion because we know that our story was impactful and we know that our juices are impactful as well. So when we got there, we were in line. I didn't have anything rehearsed or recited, to be real with you. I literally came with my heart and my soul. Wow. And when we got into the room, they actually started introducing new judges. And I was like, oh, I had the expectation that we were going to go with these set of people because I did all of my homework beforehand. And when we got into the room, I was like, okay, Mike was there, MG was there. And we and to be honest with you, when you're in that room, you're listening to everybody else pitch. Like you're listening to your competition in a room. It could be inspiring or it could be scary. You know what I mean? And by the time you get closer up into the line, it's like, yo, it's your time. It's your time. And by the time we got up there, Tamil and I coordinated. She handed out the juices and we had 60 seconds and I wanted all of my 60 seconds. You feel me? So I was like, yo, get the juices out quick. So once the 60 seconds start, I could go. And I said my pitch. Part of me don't remember all of what I said because I literally was in a moment and a passion. And then we were told that we'll get an email. So I was clocking my email all day. Like, oh, where's the email? All right, well, I guess if I didn't get an email, I'm good. 9 o'clock at night, my phone rang. And I'm the type of person where if it's not a number that I know, then it's something, right? Because I know everybody who calls me past a certain hours. And I saw the number and I was like, hello? And then I heard noise in the back and I was like, oh my God, I started shaking. And then Ab called and was like, Monique, I just want to let you know Divine Lunis is going to the stage. I was like, yeah, can you feel my heart beating through the bone? And he was like, congratulations. So we didn't get to do anything on Friday. We didn't get to see anything because we were literally pitching all day. And then when Saturday came, we didn't get to take advantage of the conference either because we were getting prepared for the big stage. So initially I felt like, dang, like we didn't get to endorse some of the stages and, receive all of the information. But I'm like, yo, we here for purpose. What will be, will be. And then just being backstage and seeing, the celebrities, seeing Black Sam, seeing everybody, it just was so organic though. Like there was nobody back. There was no one back there that was like super starstruck or a fan. It was just a cool setting. It was like, yo, this is what EYL is building. Like y'all are building community amongst everybody, no matter how famous you are, how much money you got in your pocket. It was just such a cool, calm environment. And then we had a switch with the order. And I was like, all right, I know my order. I got time to prepare. Then they switched it on us and was like, hey, y'all second, y'all not third. And I was like, oh my God, what we gonna do? And I was like, what you mean? I'm gonna do the only thing I came to do is I just gotta go up there and do it. And when I got up there again, I literally recited like the first 3 seconds and the rest was just literally from the heart. And that's it. Yeah.
I mean, this is an incredible story. You want to talk about organic? We ran into each other a few times. I had no idea you were even in the pitch competition, but talk about the marketing, having a personality, walking in purpose. Talk about how much that weighs into presenting yourself in front of people. Like I said, you gave me a few samples and I was like, oh, this is great. This is the juice lady. Then I saw you backstage. It didn't hit me till you were coming up on stage that you had given me the juices twice already. I'm like, oh, I had no idea. Talk about how much that plays into it.
Did you remember backstage when I saw you, you was looking for the cooler? You was like, where the juices at? Everybody with you was like, oh, well, where the juices at? You got the juices today? And I was like, yeah, I was like, here. But I was trying to make sure I didn't hand out all so the judges couldn't get some. But I was like, all right, I got you later. But to be honest with you, when it comes to your business, there are some people that are in business to make money, but you have to find a seed of passion in it because that's what's going to give you that caliber of confidence. That's what's going to basically lower the butterflies in your stomach when you are truly scared and you feel like you're not good enough. And also tapping into that higher power. And I know who we are and I know what we stand for. And I will be honest, Trey and Rashad, y'all are so approachable. So y'all need to give y'all self credit for that. Y'all did not have this demeanor around y'all that we couldn't approach you. You embedded yourself into all of us as entrepreneurs. The first person I ran into was Rashad. And I was like, yo, I want to give you a juice and I want to have you try it. So let me know what you think. I'm ready to walk away. And he cracked it right there. He was like, hold on, I got you. He cracked it and he tasted it. You remember Rashad? And you was like, yo, this, it's like this it. And I was like, so that also helped to build my confidence too. And my sister, like she don't talk much. She'll be talking today, but she was literally my anchor of support when I had those moments where I'm like, yo, like I'm nervous, but I'm like, what do I have to lose? So you have to walk with that state of passion, but you also have to be presentable. Wearing a smile, even if you don't feel like smiling, having that, it's an aura around you that makes people know who you are before you even enter the room or when you enter the room. Is that makes sense?
Absolutely. I know traditionally that they'll tell you in a pitch competition to have a particular framework. But can you tell us how passion has helped you get to this moment, the origin story of why you created the company, and how you think that helped you elevate past all the competition from last year?
Absolutely. So I'll start off and I'll let Floyd and Tamel chime in, because Floyd is one of the bigger parts of this story. So passion is great, but when you feel like you are down on your last, that's when you have to pull on everything you got. And for many people that know or heard when we were on stage, Floyd it just made 4 years 2 days ago. He's been diagnosed with a rare stage 4B, the letter B. Yes, stages have letters, which we didn't know. He was diagnosed with a stage 4B cancer. And throughout our journey, we've suffered from hardship, whether it's emotional, whether it's marital, whether it's physical and him not feeling well, or me feeling depleted from handling so many things. But the financial is what hit us the hardest. And he came to me and he was like, Monique, we got to do something. And I didn't know what to do because I was working a part-time job that was barely getting us by, plus whatever he may be getting, at Social Security, because he cannot work right now, And then I was like, yo, maybe we can sell juices. We're Jamaican. We come from a Jamaican background, island background. Floyd is a phenomenal cook. We cook. That's right, Toy. We come from a background where, everything that we do is with heart and with passion, but with flavor. And we know what we have to provide. And my personality, it wasn't hard to just come up with this plan, but I needed to execute it. So we decided to go in a barbershop selling juices. But also Floyd can tell you when he went through his treatment, both radiation and chemo, he lost his smell and his taste for 6 months. 6 months, y'all. He couldn't smell or taste. He had to eat from muscle memory, meaning we had to cook the same foods, Jamaican foods that he remembered, so he can eat from his brain, mental memory of what this food should taste like. But it's the juices that help carry him through. Go ahead, Floyd. Share some of what you want to say.
Yeah, I wish I could speak like her. I'm a type of behind the scene type of person, But the juice is what helped me up to this day survive. And growing up in Jamaica, we have a lot of fruit trees around. So we go around and pick fruits, eat fruits all day. We don't even have to cook. We survive off of fruits, just fruit. And even if you don't eat food, that you have the fruits to survive. They have the fruits to give you the nutrients, the fiber, all that good stuff. So when I was going through my illness, I realized that the food is not helping. So I was to resort to, juicing, which give me the vitality, the nutrients that I need to keep my weight on, because the food, I wasn't eating the food to keep the weight on.
Yeah, and also, y'all, because of the diagnosis he has, it's nasopharyngeal carcinoma. So it's in his nasopharynx where the back of the nose throat meets. So getting chemo and radiation swelled up his throat and made it extremely sore to actually swallow. So what's the next best thing is to drink, right?
Yeah,
and especially, and it was more so from the radiation, especially when your throat is sore and it hurts. Drinking something cool will be more supplement to, it feels cooling and soothing to your body. So when before this, I'm a certified health coach and life coach, and I was in a digital world just trying to find my way in traction, but I was struggling. But I felt like this was also born to help leverage my knowledge, and now we have a product that people can believe in, right? Because again, once you try it and you had it, Shad, you had it, or you had it, y'all can speak from firsthand experience. Amazing. It's not just juice, and we pray over these juices. All right, we are very serious about health and restoration because we're dealing with it in and of itself. This is again 4 years, and he looks so damn good to have been going through so many trials and tribulations. So that was the underlying battery in my back, because what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose other than to share this journey? Because we're not the only ones. We are not the only ones as an entrepreneur and entrepreneurs who are going through life trying to live and bring purpose and struggling with a diagnosis. To help others. And we feel like this is something that needs to be more spoken about.
So the big question, obviously, after the 100,000, what happens after 100,000? How has life been over the last year?
Go ahead, Tommy. I'll take that over.
Tumultuous. It's been ups and downs. People think that you get this grant and all of a sudden, and I feel like we felt it as well, that we was just going to blow up. Everything was going to be great. It was going to be magic and rainbows and lights. And, there was still the work that has to be done. So we had some challenges. We had some great accomplishments as well. So we were able to buy a commercial freezer so that we're able to stock juices and stock inventory. We were able to get a trailer so that we're able to go out and go to these events and bring the juices and those personalities in person. What else did we do?
We had a facelift to our tent and vendor setup. And trust me, that made a big difference, y'all. Just us bringing in new quality as a tent, it drew more people to come to our tent and to try our juices. We also we also got our website, y'all. We didn't have a website, which was one of the downfalls when we won this grant. We were not prepared, because one of my goals when we went to InvestFest was to absorb knowledge, was to learn trading, stock, get all up in Ian's business, right, and learn all the things. And then we didn't expect to win, right? So we weren't prepared. We didn't have a website. We didn't have links, but we learned those things the hard way. We have a fully functioning website that's absolutely beautiful. We're able to do a photo shoot. We have an SEO system. We have, we still deal with shipping. We have some little shipping challenges, just trying to make sure we are using the right carriers and couriers to get the juices there in a timely manner, because we are dealing with perishables. We were able to get a marketing agency to help us with ads and spread the love and the information of what it is to make us widespread. Y'all, we ship to Cali. We ship to Cali, we ship to Texas, we ship to New York, we ship to Jersey, we ship to, New Orleans. We ship all across the nation. We just don't ship, international. We were also able to get nutritional panels, because that's important. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, how much sugar is in this? How much calories are in this? You know what I mean? And these are helpful information that people need to see. And when we decided to go for this, we don't want Divine Luminance to be Nipsey Hussle 2024 winner. We want to be a forever brand. So we started strategizing as to how we can be that forever brand. So we've changed our logo. So we've changed it, but we haven't introduced it, which we're hoping we could reveal today. We have full labels around our bottles versus, this logo and then a label. And again, this is impromptu. We start from humble beginnings. It was writing on bottles. Now it's this. And now we're in the process of getting our full labels that's wrapped around the bottle. Some of the other things that we were able to accomplish, we did a consultation with Pinky Cole and got a lot of insight and information for our business that will help propel us in the future. And to be honest with you, when you have the funds, you're able to get more visibility. We were able to lock in on more festivals, more vendoring opportunities that would have taken maybe about a month to accrue the cost to pay for it just to be there. We were able to show up,
purchase more products.
Yeah, more products, more inventory, so we can stock and basically start shipping out. So there's been, again, a lot of triumphs, a lot of victories, and then there's been some challenges that it's part of business. We got to work through. We got to work through even the right bottles, y'all, because these are great squared, but squared are more expensive when it comes to wrapping a bottle. Cylinder bottles are better, but when we get cylinder bottles, we've been having a little challenge with, once we freeze it and it thaws, it starts to indent. So we're having to talk to different producers and manufacturers to see if the bottle can handle freeze points. And then when it thaws, because we don't want people to get it and then have it indented and the visual looks like, oh, this is not good quality, even though it is. So there's still a lot of things that we're working through. But when I tell you the $100,000 has blessed us, it tremendously it has. But I also realized it gave us the reality that $100,000, especially when you come from, humble beginnings, it sounds like a lot. But when you are building a business from, oh my God. And I had to fight with my spirit because I never wanted to feel ungrateful. I never wanted to feel ungrateful for this lump sum of money, because it has literally, like Black Sam said, he said, I feel like this money will take this person to the next level. And it most definitely has. But our vision of what we thought it was going to do, we still working on it.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad you brought up Black Sam, and congratulations again on winning. One of the things, as we were deliberating, he was saying, which one of these entrepreneurs embodies hustle spirit? Who has that hustle? And overwhelmingly, the family together was saying Divine Luminous. So congratulations again. We appreciate y'all coming on. We're so proud of y'all. And I'm looking forward to my juices.
Yes, listen, for the best. I need my own little cooler.
We need our juices. Don't play around.
We got you. We got you.
Y'all are number one. Trust me.
Can you say the website? What's your website, Instagram, all that stuff?
So the website is www.divine, DIVINE, luminance, y'all, LUMINANCE, juices.com. Our IG is Divine Luminance. You will also see a secondary IG of Divine Luminance Juices. That's my sister's account. As a backup, we were just trying to be proactive, make sure nobody steal the name trying to steal us. And one more thing, we got our trademark. That is something that's very big too. That $100,000 locked in our trademark, so we are super official. So that's where y'all can find
the check cashed. It's big clear.
It's clear.
Let me tell you, if y'all don't know how many people was asking us if it was legit, there's nothing about EYL that's illegitimate. Yes, it was legit. Microsoft, Darrell, everybody, we did have some shout outs, but I know we gotta go. But we'll go on our page and shout out. Y'all can follow us. But yes, the check was legit, and we got it in a very timely manner. We did not have to wait. They are a real business.
No Usher bucks.
Oh yeah. This isn't net 90. This ain't net 90.
I'm telling you, no vouchers, baby. No, this is real cash money.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate
You're
y'all.
welcome.
All right, y'all. Be good.
All right.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They still have that same energy, man. I love it.
Sure.
It's there. It's there.
Energy is always important, man.
Yeah. And I'm not making a claim or health claim, yada yada, but there is something special about their juices. Like I've had a bunch of juice companies. They have something special in that bottle, no pun intended. Like,
it's great.
Made with love.
It's interesting what he said when he was like, coming from Jamaica, and we was just eating the fruit. He's like, you don't even have to. We ain't have to cook if we like. Everything is on the earth for you to survive.
Absolutely.
So we talk about health a lot, especially on Blackout. But a lot of times, it's interesting because it's like in more quote unquote advanced societies, the more money you get, you actually are working backwards from the original creation of what's provided for you. Like everything is provided for you. Like even in worse circumstances, you don't even have enough money to actually buy food or have a gas stove or to cook. You can live off of fruit.
Yeah.
Live off the land.
But we go so far away from that. And a lot of times, and that causes problems, right? So I thought that was like real insightful for him to say. But why would people think that we would give a check and not actually have money?
They're haters, yo.
Yeah.
They'd be wishing for the down. I even told you when we started doing blackout, they're like, you were shot closer than ever. I'm like,
that's nasty work. No, it's nasty work. It's real. Like, real business happens, right? Like, and we deal in that space where it's like, oh, it's going to be net 140 days post.
I hate that.
You know how this goes, Ian. We're more of the net now people. So like, yo, we say we're gonna do something, it's gonna get done. I think that the longest time barrier is like making sure that everybody who's gonna receive it has all the information in order. That's it, because we ready to go. If we saying we doing it, we ready to go.
Yeah.
Man, that was two enjoyable conversations.
I like that. I like that business highlight piece.
You know. InvestFest, man. It's more than celebrities. It's more than celebrities.
I know I got criticized for the $100,000 take, but a business owner just told you.
She just said it. She definitely just said it.
And it's to use that money to ramp up. It's not like you could just use that money, just kick your feet up, and it's over.
Yeah.
She said you so many expenses, but
man, it turned the hustle into overdrive.
Life-changing experience.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would not enter the pitch competition. And like I said, this year it's more money, 125,000, but it's even more curated. It's specific to tech. We got Paul Judge, who's going to mentor after the money is given. Like, it's just so much. So everybody should be entering that pitch competition if you have a business. And if you don't have a tech component to your business, add one. And every business owner should be having a vendor booth because you're going to make money. And everybody should go to InvestFest.
The exposure is great.
Why not?
And if you're building your business, to be very honest, they will never say it, but the curation of audience plus people who are speaking, if you just tried to pay for it, will probably cost you $10 to $15 million. I'm just talking about on an advertising acquisition cost basis. Like it's really tough to get that many people who are investing into the market, have businesses, have money, and all you have to do is get a $200 ticket and go and network.
Yeah,
that's the most important one.
I want y'all to take note of the personality, the energy that she brings. That's on an everyday basis every time we ever encounter her. But I think she said something important about us as well. Is like we're personable. People gonna see us and they're gonna realize it's the same people that they've seen on Market Mondays or Blackout or Earn Your Leisure. And
no different.
It's no different. And we're gonna give you advice and we're gonna talk to you because we are people. We were made by the people, right? This is not done without y'all. And so we are very aware of that. So we want to make sure we give our time to y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blackout this Wednesday at 10 o'clock. We got Punch. We got Ray Daniels. 6 o'clock on Thursday, Earn Your Leisure. We got Kurt Franklin, his business partner, Norm. Get your tickets to InvestFest. We're running the Ghana sweepstakes for another week. And the last thing I'll say about InvestFest is shout out to Gusto. They're sponsoring 10 tickets, free tickets. So first 10 people to hear this, if you go to investfest.com and enter Gusto at checkout, you'll get a free ticket. So that's going to be going by the time I finish saying that.
Shout out to Gusto. It is officially done. Yo, and I'm glad you said listen to. Do us all a favor, right? Shout out to everybody on EYL Network. Make sure that you go and download the audio. Go listen to it. If you're in your car, it's important that you listen to it. Go listen to Blackout. Go listen to Earn Your Leisure. Definitely go listen to Market Mondays. Get those audios numbers. They subscribe, comment, like, share with us. Let us know the feedback, some things that y'all want to see, want to hear. All those metrics are important. So if y'all love us and y'all support us, go do that.
Please. Can I sponsor B. Simone ticket to InvestFest?
Blackout.
Baby boy.
Blackout. Shout out to B. Simone, man. Blackout.
That's
Blackout.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Shout out to B. Simone.
Friend of the show.
Shout out.
But I got 3 tickets for you.
Shout out to
Yeah. We gotta. What? There's an app she's building? Is that what's going on? I didn't see the whole interview. They said there's an app that's costing a lot, but yeah, we don't know. Okay.
But I do know 3 tickets.
Can we put in Red Panda? Can we put in Red Panda?
For sure. Absolutely. Lifetime.
Because I feel like that's something
lifetime for real.
Investing. We're gonna talk about it on Blackout, but there's some valuable lessons. There's some valuable lessons in that.
Great spirit, though. She's a great spirit, great human being. Love B. Simone, friend of the show.
Yeah.
outside the show, just a good person and to us as well. Yeah.
But don't sleep on Zara.
Why would you? H&M either.
Zara got
H&M.
No. You can buy
H&M.
You can buy H&M.
Zara. God.
Zara's valid.
Get the app.
Super valid.
H&M is valid.
Yeah.
It's valid. Stop.
I know from firsthand experience.
I'm not saying I wear it. I'm saying
right on the phone.
Yeah.
Go right to Mexico.
Zara,
right on Fifth Ave.
Zara's a good hit in any economy.
H&M is as well.
No, it really ain't.
It is.
H&M
in terms of affordability
or H product.
But I'm not saying that I shop there. I know people that I obviously do.
I'm saying
you shop there?
I used to.
Okay.
And
the quality's not good?
It's not the quality. It's the Zara has dope styles. Like the styling of it. Like Zara.
I understand that part. I'm saying
the look
5 times better.
The quality of the clothes.
Yes. Quality and look. Yeah. But the look for sure.
Yeah.
For men and women, and my kids have H&M stuff for sure. I know that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a kid, you can wear anything, but
facts.
God bless America, first and foremost. Be Simone. We're gonna talk about it.
I got you.
Hold your head. Hold your head.
You gotta know in your up moments, you have to be humble.
Stash the bread. Stash bread at all times. 2 tech, 2 index.
Facts. I know some of y'all be on me. Hey, yo, you don't never want to go. Nope. Well, my homeboy when got a Richard Millie. I said, are you crazy?
Richard
you don't have a Millie in real life. What? Yo, man, you gotta get you one of these. No, I don't.
Oh man. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real.
All right, y'all. Love is love. Be good.
Peace.